Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. This morning, June the 2nd, we are one full day into the transfer window. One full day into the transfer window that then slams shut on the 10th. Yes, it closes on the 10th for some competition that Celtic aren't invited into. And the winners of that competition win 100 million in prize money. It's no wonder that Real Madrid paid 10 million for a player that was out of contract in a month's time. It's different levels of stuff when you can get a player for absolutely nothing in 29 days time, but they decided to pay 10 million to get him right now so he could play in a competition where they could potentially win 100 million in prize money. It is different level stuff. So the transfer window has opened. It closes on the 10th of June. It then reopens again on the 16th of June, right and through until September the 1st. And it closes at a strange time of night this year. Thank goodness. It just means that we'll probably have an all-day event on the 1st of September. It closes at 7 p.m. So it means there's going to be a lot of lives that on the 1st of September. Usually I do the closing of the window. Looks like I think everybody else will try and do it as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Celtic are still clambering about come the 1st of September. Let's hope not. For Brendan Rodgers' sake. I want everything done and dusted. I want everything done and dusted by then. I just think it would be good to have everything done way before. And hopefully when we get to September, Brendan Rodgers is going, yeah, we're in a good place. And it's just as long as nobody comes in. I remember Brendan Rodgers wanting players in before pre-season last year. This year it must be especially qualified for Champions League. Yeah, and you've got to remember that the Champions League games are in August. The Champions Qualifier League game is in August, so towards the end of August. So it's not the best news that we could get. Well, it is, because hopefully Celtic will just get their finger out and get it done early. The transfer window, although it's all the British sides actually, closes at 7 p.m. This is said, so it's closing at 7. The deal agreed between clubs. This gives clubs an additional 2 hours to do paperwork. Got emergency deals. If team requires to sign a player on an emergency basis, special dispensation could be granted to a player with the transfer window. Must be an obvious example if the team has multiple goalkeepers injured. That's not going to happen, is it? Talking about goalkeepers, yes, talking about goalkeepers. We now know why Celtic went down the road that they have with goalkeepers over the last couple of seasons. Obviously, we get in Joe Hart, who was a fantastic goalkeeper for Celtic. We get him on a free. We get him on we did not pay him $1 million for him or something. Anyway, we get Joe Hart in, absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. At the time that we were linked with Joe Hart, we were linked with the Liverpool goalkeeper, Kelleher. After Joe Hart left, we bring in another fantastic goalkeeper in the name of Kasper Schmeichel. But before we signed Kasper Schmeichel, we signed young guy, Finnish keeper Sinisalo, who looks a fantastic prospect for the future. And it comes at a time where Celtic are allegedly going to bring back, and will they make an announcement this week, that they're looking to bring back Ross Dohan to be the third choice goalkeeper and then go on to be the second choice goalkeeper at Celtic. We know that Kasper Schmeichel has 1 year extension. He will not extend that. Kasper Schmeichel will leave at the end of next season. He will leave Celtic, which means Sinisalo will be there and will be looking for a number 2. Hence the reason that we're bringing in Ross Dohan allegedly. But Celtic have been linked with Kelleher over the years, and the fact that he's now being sold, Brentford have agreed to pay an initial 12.5 million for the Cork-born player. Yes, Brentford. He will undergo a medical at Brentford today, and he is he's going for 12.5 million, and that could rise to 18 million on performance-related add-ons. So a deal worth 18 million for a keeper, or you bring in some experienced keepers on lower wages, and let's face it, the wages that come with paying him 12 million, he's probably going to be on the topper end of 100 grand a week down south, isn't he? He's not going to be on 15 to 20 grand a week, is he? Let's face it. I mean, we got lucky. Did we get lucky? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, Lanky, I'll speak about that towards the end of this video. I'm going to do a quick poll. There's this morning's poll. We'll like a poll on the channel. Have you got lucky with the two keepers we have had the last few years, being Kasper Schmeichel and Joe Hart? Because let's face it, they were at the end of their career. Financial motives weren't a big factor in coming to Celtic. If you want to finish your career and you want to win medals, Celtic's a great club to come to, because you've got the chance of winning at least the league and a double, potentially a treble. So have we got lucky? I think we have. The fact that Kelly has just been sold for 12.5 million, and we bring in Salo for 1 million. Do you know, I think it is a good piece of business. It is a good piece of business. The fact that we got Sinisalo and that, and so yeah, I think Celtic have done right. The Ross Dohan one, I can understand where Celtic are coming from. I think we're starting to see the way that Celtic are going with the transfer window. Could this be another year though? Could this be another summer where Celtic go out and bring in some more experience, and especially for the midfield area? I think Brendan Rodgers knows that we've brought in players that have got potential to sell on. So it will be an interesting window, and it'll be interesting to see if Celtic make any announcement in the next 8 days now, because the window is only open until the 10th. Talking about a player that is out on loan, Marco Tilio has been talking to the media after his performances down in Australia. He said that he's in a really good place. He says, "My future is obviously up in the air at the moment. I'm unsure what's going to happen." Marco Tilio says, "It's always just been about playing well. I know when I'm playing well that people were always watching me. What I want to do, if I can, is to help Australia qualify for another World Cup. I took everything from the last camp. I put myself in the position, and I now feel that I'm better for it. I just want to execute everything that I know I can and put myself in a position to hopefully be in that squad." It's been 18 months since he's stepped on the pitch for the national team. We all know that he got very little game time at Celtic. He's obviously went back home. There's a lot of rumours saying that the deal was already done for him to leave Celtic. There's also been speculation that he could come back, and could he fill the gap that's been left by Jota? He'll get a short break before coming back to Scotland. He will return to pre-season training with the rest of the squad, because he's a Celtic player. So hopefully he's got another couple of weeks, and hopefully he comes back. And can he really place down a marker this summer? It would be a remarkable turnaround, an absolutely amazing turnaround for a player that a lot of folk just thought, he's not good enough. He's not good enough for Celtic, and he was sent back to Australia. Could it be the fact that he's went back, his stats are saying that he's better, the performances are going with that, he's scored some goals, he's got some assists. Could be just the perfect little storm for him. It has happened with players before. They've went out on loan, they've looked as if they've been on their way out the door at Celtic, especially a defender that we all know, Liam Scales. It happened with him, and could this be the season that it happens with Marco Tilio? It's going to be an interesting one to watch as well, but we'll find out, and hopefully in about a month and a half time, whether Celtic go out and buy someone else and Marco Tilio is sent out on loan or sold to a team down under. Whether Tilio does come back with the injuries that we've got, do you know, Brendan Rodgers has to have a look at him in training. He has to have a look at the player and then obviously decide, nah, he's not what we need, or whether he is. Anyway, UEFA are making some changes, it looks like. Just a year in from the new look 36 team league phase of the Champions League, UEFA are looking to change it again. And I think they should. 2 teams who finish in the top flight of 16. Open draw. Oh, who cares? It's way outside Celtic's potential for getting to any. And there's another bit of news that's kicking around this morning as well. Remember the Aberdeen striker, Movsky, or whatever his friggin' name is, and everybody said that Celtic should have went for him, and Aberdeen sold him for something like 6 million. Was it to Girona? Yeah, it was Girona they sold him to for a 6.5 million deal. Well, he hasn't had such a good time, and the Celtic Star are reporting that the North Macedonian international could be one that is linked with Celtic again this year. At 25, he's not had the best time of it in Spain. Mavovsky is a player who we all know what he could do at Aberdeen, but it said that he's fell down the pecking order at Girona. What is it with players that play in Scotland and they're on fire? And I mean, I could talk about Kyogo. And then obviously the boy for Aberdeen, he's went away to Spain and he's not hit the heights that he's hit at Aberdeen. But it's an interesting one for Celtic, because we know how Celtic like to get deals. Let's face it, we know how Celtic like to get a little bit of a bargain in the transfer market. Well, it looks like that they're ready to offload him for around about £2 million. They're going to take a hit on the player, and it looks like that it could be on the market this year, just a year after leaving Scotland. Could he be back in Scotland this summer at a bargain basement price of £2 million? It's such a Celtic thing to do, isn't it? It is such a Celtic thing to do, to not buy him at the 6.5 million that Aberdeen wanted, to let him go out for a season and let him just not find his way. I mean, it's quite Chris Sutton like. Chris Sutton went to Chelsea for a fantastic fee, didn't cope at Chelsea, had a shit season, his stats were terrible, and then he came to Celtic, was on fire. Same with John Hartson. He fails a medical for a dodgy knee at a certain club, and then a year later he comes to Celtic. And it is just the Celtic way, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see if he does. If Celtic do make a move for him, it'll be hilarious. It'll be... Would that be a little bit of a wind up to Aberdeen fans after them beating us obviously in the Scottish Cup? After them beating us in the Scottish Cup, to then take their goalkeeper, their second choice goalkeeper, and then get their phenomenal striker. If you want to see how Tilly was playing in search A-Leagues, they put a video out 5 days ago. I'll prefer to just wait and see what Brendan Rodgers thinks of him. Because Lanky, let's be fair, if Brendan Rodgers thinks that he's not the standard, video footage How many times have we seen video footage of players that look fantastic? They come to Celtic and they're just crap. Irishman in Porto, morning all. Back in sunny Portugal after a week filming the final in Munich. Same thing Tillio happened with Tam Rogic. Went back, kicked on and returned. Who knows? Irishman in Porto who lives the dream. Gets to go to all these big football occasions and then comes and chats to us here. It must be a bit of a come down coming to the One Celtic Fans View channel. After living the heights and living the dream of filming at the Champions League final, been over there for a week working, and then he comes to this One Celtic Fans View and he probably goes, mate, you need to, I bet he sits and criticises the camera angles and everything, and it's just, oh, God. I'm all joking, mate. Welcome back, I'm glad you had a good time. Where are you off to next? Actually, I'm going to. There's a stadia not far from here. Oh, and the big news for me last night was Elche never won the league. Yep, Elche didn't get automatic qualification into the La Liga. Elche, who play in green and white and are just 20 minutes up the road, got a fantastic stadium. Are going to have to go through the playoffs. They won 4-0. They won 4-0. They thought it was in their hands, but Levante. Remember them because a young Barcelona player was at Levante on loan before he came to Celtic. They won the league. They won 1-0. Unbelievable. Unfucking-believable. They won 1-0 to win the league. So, yeah. But there's another stadium just down Murcia way that I'm going to need to check out because there could be the potential of a good number of pre-season games take part down that way. I would take Jensen from Aberdeen. He's worth a punt. Kyogo's kicking around again. No chance flying column. You're not going. If you've got a chance between the ex-Aberdeen player and Kyogo, who's kicking on a bit, right? You've got a player that's 30 and a player that's 25, and they both cost 2 million. Celtic are going for the player that's 25. Next is Paraguay in August for Portugal. And Portugal for Paraguay. That's just showing off, man. There's loads of folk for Paraguay. Stay in Torrevieja, actually. Down that way. See a lot of the Paraguay flag. That's some life, isn't it? That's some life. Just there's actually a camera guy that works for the BBC. Stays 2 doors down. I got chatting to him. He's a boom camera man. He works the boom camera, and she's a radio DJ. Don't know what station that is she works for, but she's a radio DJ back home. Interesting. Hi guys, so the Netherlands. I was trying to catch the pod no matter where I am. Great show, Stephen. Fantastic. You're in the Netherlands this morning. Joseph says, Lanky, hope we aim for a higher quality. Jensen's decent, but he's not. He's sent about 30. Interesting. Right, let's get an update on any news. Celtic target. Switch. Just see this. Ugh, talking about Kelleher again. Anyway, how long have we been on? 18 minutes. That'll do it for this morning, won't it? Let's see what the poll is doing. Have we got lucky with the 2 keepers we've had over the last couple of seasons? Oh, 10% say no. 10% say no. Interesting. Wonder why. Timothy, nice one. As for anything that's interesting. Irishman in Porto has just said in the chat about the young kids. They need to get a run of 5 matches before they can be judged. Porto have just promoted a 17-year-old and gave him game time. He's just been called up for the Portugal A team. Watch out for a 17-year-old getting called up at Hearts next season. That's all I'm saying. Interesting one. Right, I'm going to shut down that poll because it's weird. Tell me in the comments why you don't think we've got lucky with Kasper Schmeichel and Joe Hart. I'm going to end the poll. I think we got lucky with them, getting them at the end of their career. Because let's face it, you would have never got Joe Hart when he was a lot younger, or Kasper Schmeichel for that chance. I never got him. So Neres is in from North London, and there's not a lot of other Celtic news kicking around this morning. Obviously, it is only the second morning of the transfer window opening, so we will watch Celtic closely. Shut up. Alex Ferguson's taken credit for Celtic hiring Martin O'Neill back in the day after a phone call to Dermot Desmond, as he's pictured by what looks like P. Diddy. Rather unfortunate if you're pictured next to P. Diddy, if that is P. Diddy. Maybe it isn't. Anyway, who cares about that? That is enough of that nonsense. The problem with the young boys is our fans go nuts because they always want players to be ready on the get-go, not be a project player. I think that you're not a project player if a young lad at 17 gets promoted into the Porto team. Stephen, we spoke about that already at the beginning of the video. Big Fraser is out at Spurs. Oh, come on, we can't go back to that. We're not going to Fraser Forster. Right? The future's fine when it comes to Celtic goalkeepers. We've got Sinisalo, who is a fantastic keeper, and bringing Ross Dohan as a number 2 is brilliant. I'm not worried about the Celtic goalkeeping situation at all. Fergie also tipped Martin O'Neill as his replacement at Man United. But he never took that job up, did he? Man United went for another Scotsman instead. And that didn't work out too well. But I think that he just took over Man United at the wrong time. Whoever was going to take over after Fergie was always on to hiding. But then again, look at the way that Man United have been ever since. Just on free fall, haven't they? We've signed young players like Yang. He's older than our youth players. Fans moan about Yang. Still do. Yep. He is. The word is Kasper will retire this summer. Am I late to the party? Is that the word? I don't think so. Who's telling you the word, Bobby? Who's telling you the word that Kasper will retire this summer? I think if that would leave Celtic in, he just signed a new contract for the year, and I think that would put him in. I think that would put Celtic in an uncompromising situation. Sinisalo's good enough to go into the Champions League for definite. And maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But anyway, we're getting Ross Dohan. The whole reason that we're getting Ross Dohan in is because Scott Bain is leaving the club. So, anyway, interesting one. Won't be any keepers when Dohan's in next summer, I expect. Dohan's in this summer. I heard through injury. Think so? He didn't look too clever when it came to oh no, it's okay. It's cool, Bobby. I don't think that he will retire. I think that Brendan Rodgers will keep him in and around the squad. They've got him for that year on his contract. Like I says, let's say Kasper does go. Does that mean Sinisalo will be first choice? And yes, Lanky, that's the plan. That's the plan for a year down the line. Sinisalo was always going to be first choice, and Ross Dohan's your backup keeper. Could Casper stick around and be a second choice goalkeeper for the last remainder, just to help out in training and stuff? I don't know. Anyway, good stuff, Joe. Sinisalo's a great keeper. I mean, for what we've seen him this year, I think he's been a fantastic fantastic buy. Anyway. Yeah, you're right, Kieran. They'll wait to the end of the window, eh? They'll wait to the end of the window. I don't know. What about the Sheep's first choice keeper? He's okay. We're not going to go for him. Not when you're getting Ross Dohan for free. Sinisalo and Ross Dohan are your keepers going forward. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this morning. If you haven't checked out the video that was released earlier, go listen to that. I know it's an hour-long video, but it gives you a good insight into the Green Brigades and what's going on this season. If you haven't listened to it, go and check that out now. It's a good listen. And I'm hearing that the boys are on tour for their 10th birthday. Yes, the whole squad of them. It's going to be utter carnage. Anyway, have a fantastic day wherever you are, Celtic fans. And if there is any news this afternoon, make sure to keep an eye on the channel, because we will do a video if there's anything breaks within the transfer window in the next 9 days, 8 days. Have a fantastic day wherever you are, Celtic fans all around.